Welcome, grade 4s, to WorksheetCloud.com's online lessons. I hope you are well and warm and awake this morning. I know I am. And a warm welcome to our new viewers for today. I hope that this lesson is helpful and exciting for you. So what you're going to need, I think you're definitely going to need a pencil or a pen and a page so that we can get started. And then if you have any questions about this lesson or any of my other lessons, please send an email to grade4@worksheetcloud.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can after this lesson. So let's go into it. Today's lesson, we're going to be looking at abbreviations. And I know some of you already have quite a few popular abbreviations, like, for example, that's one of the most popular ones, especially in school, the famous EG, but we're going to be learning some new ones as well today. So, the lesson outline for today, we're going to be punctuating a paragraph. Remember, grade 4, as I said, we're not always going to be doing the same thing all the time. We're going to be learning new skills, especially in the introduction of the lesson. Then we're going to be looking at what are abbreviations, some information about abbreviations, because I don't know if you knew this, but there are some sort of rules to abbreviations. So we're going to be looking at that. And then we're going to be looking at commonly used abbreviations. And then lastly, we're going to be doing an activity. So, punctuating a paragraph. The story changed, at least that is what it seemed to Cora. Her friends did not even invite her to their party, as this upset her so much because she really wanted to go to the party. So this is Cora, and this paragraph is obviously about Cora and something that happened. But as you can see, it's not been punctuated very well. So it is up to you, grade 4s, to put this paragraph straight. So I'm going to leave it on for a few seconds, and I want you to please punctuate this paragraph. At this stage, you can pause the video and write down the paragraph and then punctuate it and then play again. Or you can just look at the paragraph at the moment and then just shout out where you notice the mistakes and the punctuation errors. Remember, it's not just about punctuation. It can also be about spelling. Okay. So I'm going to take my pen out so that I can actually assist you here. Where is this pen? Okay, and let's take a color out. Great. So, the story changed, at least that is what it seemed to Cora. Her friends did not even invite her to the party. Okay, so as you can see already, I know that my sentences must start with a capital letter. So there already, I can see there's an error over there. Story changed, at least that is what it seemed to Cora and her friends. So the story changed, that is the end of my sentence there. And then at least, capital letter, that is what it seemed to Cora. Cora is a name of someone, so therefore it must be in a capital letter. And there's a full stop over there because that's the end of that sentence. Her friends in capital letters, beginning of a sentence. Her friends did not even invite her to their party. Okay, that's also the end of the sentence over there. And then I want you to take a look at this, grade 4. See here. In one of our previous lessons, we looked at homophones, and there you can see there's a mistake there with the homophone. That there is the wrong one because this one refers to place, okay? Whereas the there that we're looking for is the pronoun, or in this paragraph, possessive adjective. So the one that they are looking for is the one with the I and the R. Their party. Okay, thus capital letter because it's the beginning of a sentence. This upset us so much because, comma, before because, she really wanted to go to the party. full stop. So now we're going to read the sentence with the punctuation now that we've corrected. The story changed, at least that is what it seemed to Cora. Her friends did not even invite her to their party. This upset her so much because she really wanted to go to the party. So let's see if our answers are right, grade 4s. And here we go. The story changed, at least, there's my full stop. That is what it seemed to Cora, capital letter, full stop. Her friends, also capital letter. There we see that they corrected the word there, thus, and comma, full stop. I hope you all got that, grade 4s, because I know that you are pretty smart. So I'm sure you all got that answers correct. Let's move on. So, what are abbreviations? Abbreviations, it is a shortened or brief form of a word or phrase. It is often used to save time. So basically, in short, abbreviations are just used to kind of save time. Instead of writing out the entire word, we only write out a short part of the word and people will know exactly what the word means. Okay. For example, the abbreviation for WorksheetCloud is WSC, okay, because that's a shortened version of that word. So we have different shortened words, so to speak, to help us save time in language especially. And also even sometimes you'll see it in text. Nowadays there are so many abbreviations for everything, especially with WhatsApp and Facebook and social media, that abbreviations has become part of the norm. Okay, so I feel that this lesson is quite interesting in the fact that there are abbreviations before I want to say LOL, but LOL is actually an acronym, and we're going to get into acronyms later. But for example, we can look at the words laugh out loud. It is now a shortened version of laugh out loud. An acronym, like I said, but it gives you kind of an idea. If you're still wondering what could this abbreviation be, it kind of gives you an idea now of what that could be. So let's get back into the lesson. So what we need to know about abbreviations? Well, firstly, an abbreviation is usually found in written form and is not pronounced as it is written. Like, for example, Mr. You know, the abbreviation Mr. MR. You don't go MR Frank, MRS Frank. You know, it's pronounced the way the bigger word would be. So it would be Mrs. Frank. You wouldn't come and call me MRS Frank. And another example is the word doctor. Okay, it's DR, but I wouldn't come and say DR Frank or DR Jones or whatever. Please come here, or can I see you? No, I would say doctor. So the abbreviation is not pronounced the way it is spelled. And then it usually ends in a full stop. For example, I made the example here. Professor would end in a full stop. But here's the important part, grade 4s. Not all the time does the abbreviation end in a full stop. And I'm going to explain it to you now. If the abbreviation ends in the last letter of the word, then the full stop is left out. For example, doctor. Okay? So what does that mean? And I'm going to be honest with you. Even teachers sometimes get a bit confused and we have to remind ourselves of certain things. So when I read that, I was thinking, the abbreviation of the last letter of the word, then full stops left out. Now I'm confused. And then I figured out that the end of the word here, doctor, if the abbreviation also ends with that R, we don't need to use a full stop. Okay? But if we look at one like Miss, okay? Mr, for example, right? Mr would have a full stop because Mr won't have a full stop either. You see how silly I am? Mr won't have a full stop either because Mr ends in, but that's a good example for you nonetheless. Mr also ends in an R. So when it ends in an R, then we won't need, sorry for my terrible handwriting that voice, we won't need a full stop. So I can take that full stop away there. We won't need a full stop if it ends in R because Mr there also ends in R. But I'll show you some examples in our next slide of how the full stop that is used in different abbreviations. Then if the initials of a group of words form a new word, this is called an acronym. So remember how in the beginning when I was trying to figure out a good example of an abbreviation for you, and I said LOL. Well, LOL is also it's an acronym, okay? It's used the beginning letters of the words to form a new word, which is LOL. So I've given you the example here of NASA, and NASA stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Okay, that is what the word NASA stands for. So what they've done is they've basically taken the beginning letters of each of the words here, like National Aeronautics and Space Administration. As you can see, they have not used the and over here, okay? They haven't used the and, but they've used all the other words. So they've used the N, A, S, and A. So NASA is now a word that was made up by the initials of each of those letters, like the very popular acronym LOL, laugh out loud. Okay, let's move on. So we're going to be looking at commonly used abbreviations now. January, okay, we are looking at months. So January's abbreviation is Jan, and here's a good example of the one with the full stop. Okay, so January is here, and then over here you can see there's a full stop because the abbreviation doesn't end in Y. So because it doesn't end in Y and it ends in N, it needs a full stop. February, again, you can see there's a full stop over there. March, April, May. As you can see, there is no abbreviation for May because May is also already a short word in itself. June, July, August, September, October, November, and lastly, December. So these are the months of the year, and as I've shown you now is how the months are abbreviated. As you can see, all of them, besides May now, has a full stop because all of them does not end in the last letter of the word. Look at the word July. Okay, August should have ended on, if it was ended with a T, then we wouldn't need the full stop. I hope that makes sense. So, places. We're going to be looking at places now. Over here, very lightly, you can see it's avenue. Okay, and avenue is abbreviated to AVE. As you can see here, there are no full stops because avenue ends with an E. And then corner, also no full stop because it ends with the R. And the word also ends with an R. Road, RD. Street, ST. There's another version of using abbreviation of ST. ST can also mean saint, okay? But in this case, we're looking at places. So therefore, the ST that I'm referring to is street. And then post office box, PO box, okay? So for some of you that always wondered, what do they mean when they say PO box, It means post office box, okay? So here we have the different places like roads, avenues, etc., and how we can abbreviate them when we are either texting, sending a message, etc. And there we have it. It's obviously a little bit more clearer now for you, so I'll leave it for a few seconds for you to get used to. Okay, so measurements. Another very important part of abbreviations is measurements because we use abbreviations mostly in our measurements. And I'm just going to get out of your way here quickly. Grade 4 and put myself. Don't worry, I didn't go too far. So over here we have the C, okay, that's used usually in temperature, and that stands for Celsius. cm stands for centimeter. G stands for gram. kg, kilogram. M for meter. mg for milligram. ml for milliliter, and mm for millimeter. So this is how we can recognize the measurements when we are looking at something. And if we look at the word L, which is not on here right now, that one stands for liter. Okay, so measurements is one of the times where you really see a lot of abbreviations in everyday life, because when we normally, even in mathematics especially, when we are looking at measurement and you have to add or do perimeter, they don't write out the whole word centimeter. They usually will write out cm. Okay, so at least in this way, when you're looking at abbreviations, it's not, it's something that you never see. When it comes to mathematics, it's used quite often in measurements specifically. So popular ones that I thought I'd add in just to help you remember them. We have ADG, which is ADJ, which is adjective. ABBR with a dot stands for abbreviation, which we are obviously busy with. ANS, answer. And here's the very popular one, the EG is example. ETC, also very popular, means etc. NO with a dot is number. Okay, sometimes you'll see your teachers or someone using that. PG is page, and then here PTO, please turn over. You might also see sometimes. So these are just the popular ones that we've all come to know, we see quite often. So, activity time. So what I want you to do, grade 4s, is I want you to look at the abbreviations on this side, which is on the left side, and the answers are on the right side. And I want you to take some time to try and see if you can match the abbreviations to the answers. And I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. And if you'd like to pause it now and write it down quickly, do the activity, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to give you a few seconds to see if you can quickly figure out the abbreviations. Time starts now. Okay, so RSA. Let's look. RSA number? No. Television? Definitely no. Cellular? Road? Republic of South Africa. There we go. UK? United Kingdom. ADG, that one we saw quite recently, and that is adjective. It's right at the bottom here. cm, centimeter. Okay, I need to cross over here. AVE, avenue, which is right at the bottom. RD, road. NO with a dot is number. Email. Email is abbreviation for electronic mail. So it's that one over there. And cell, quite a popular one for you guys. Cell is cellular. And then TV, one of the most normal abbreviations of all time, I'm assuming grade 4s, is the word TV. And that is the answers for this activity. So grade 4s, we have come to the end of our lesson. If you have any questions about this lesson or any of my other lessons, please send an email to grade4@WorksheetCloud.com. And an activity and memo is provided for you after this lesson. As usual, grade 4s, I seriously hope that you enjoyed this lesson. And from me, Miss Nicole Frank, I wish you a wonderful day further. Goodbye.